So thank you. This is beautiful. So what we're now going to do is I want to have a change the topic slightly. Borgo is a high-end resort destination hotel. And we now throw coronavirus into the middle of this. And when I was communicating with you last couple of weeks, what I noticed is that I expected, when I said, how are you? I expected an answer which was pretty negative. What I got was a really positive answer. And then I said to myself, well, given his purpose, why am I surprised? So I'd love for you to talk about how you guys sort of saw this thing happening and what you chose, you and the others who are running the organization have decided to do as a way of thriving versus just surviving.
Yes, we are. Yes, I want to clarify it up front. We feel really, really positive. But it's not because we are not aware of exactly what is going on. We read all the analysis that are available right now, and we know at the economists and all the analytics are saying that the moment is very difficult and it's not going to get back to normal any soon. We believe that there will be no get back to normal, okay, but itself is not a problem. The problem is how do you react to it. So in order to create a parallel with what I was saying before about an individual level, the social and the collective level is exactly the same thing. So COVID-19 is here. It's touching everybody's life. It's extremely tough. The situation is extremely serious. But how do you react to uncertainty? Can weigh from fear and anxiety to resilience to optimism. You choose in which way you want to deal with it. Now, for us as an organization, I would say that we were totally equipped to deal with it in the perfect way. Because when I joined Boeing, when I joined Borgo Egnazia, the magic was the fact that my purpose was aligned with the purpose of the organization. The organization has done a lot of things in these years that we have been working together to prepare for that. And for that, I mean that we know that we are living in a VUCA world. We know that our reality is volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And we know that our world is really struggling under the burden of its own complexity. So now the challenge as the face of COVID-19, but it's just one of the faces. Is, you know, we need to remember that up to a couple of months ago, you know, Australia was on fire, and we had islands of plastic floating across the oceans, and you know all the other things we know really, really well. So the situation is complex itself. What's the difference with COVID-19? Is the scale of this change, is the fact that it's hitting everybody, and of course it's hitting in particular the travel, tourism, and hospitality industry because of the lockdown, because of the consequences. Now, there will be no go back to normal, but normal was not okay anyway. So what we are thinking about is, okay, how can we change with resilience to this situation and build a better future? We want to be part of what's going on. We need to build something better. We don't want to go back to normal because normal was not okay. And you know, it's always a bouncing between the big picture and the small picture. So we go from big consideration of humanity and the future of our community as human beings to the small things we do in operations. But we always bounce between the big pictures and the application of that. For example. We know we have a need for human touch and community. So now we rely on internet, digital connectivity for survival. But our life tomorrow will be shaped by the human touch. We need to find new form for that. We need to find better form for that. And exactly in the same way we deal on crucibles on a personal level. How do you do that? You try to understand the lesson in the difficult moment you are living. Why don't they try the same approach on the collective level? What is this situation teaching us? First of all, there are so many interesting things. The virus recognized the human being as its guest. doesn't care about nationality, doesn't need a passport to travel. We are all the same. That means we are literally all the same in this. And we know that countries and organizations where the social capital is strong, they react better to situations so catastrophic like this one. So social capital, sense of community, sense of belonging to something is something definitely we need to tap on in order to get out of this situation. It's bringing the fact that dignity again on the frontline workers. Now everybody's realizing that the food we eat, the coffee we drink, the clothes we dress, there is a lot of work to produce these things we enjoy. Our new heroes are nurses and doctors and people saving life in hospitals. And these people are acting because they believe in what they do, because of their purpose. They're giving their life in this situation.
What does it look like then? So most everybody else's view of your industry is that everybody got laid off. And
well, this is a very interesting
terrible,
topic.
right?
What we did,
they're not coming back. So what's it like there?
Yeah, I wanted to step a little back on the beginning of the COVID-19 because, Italy, so after China, Italy was the country that was the most by the emergency. And it's interesting because it seems like Italy was looking at China like saying, oh, guess what's happening in China, but we don't care. I mean, it's not really related with us. And then a month later, Lombardy in Italy and Milan was shut down and red area.
Which is northern Italy. Now you're in southern Italy, so you're
southern Italy was the safest zone compared with the epidemic outbreak. But nevertheless, we as a community at Borgo Egnazia, we were watching what was going on. So we were talking about it and talking with the staff. So we have embraced an horizontal leadership model. So when it comes to brainstorming and discussing ideas, everybody is on the same level. So we discuss and we actually want feedback and ideas from everybody in the team. So we were looking very closely at the evolving of the situation. And we were balancing risk and opportunity. I still remember at the beginning, the experts saying in TV that this is just a flu, it's gonna be over in 2 weeks, things like that. We considered that that could be a major disruption. And as soon as the situation was showing all the impact was causing, we decided to drop forecasting. And I'm talking about numbers, performance, previous year, current years, and things like that, and start working since the beginning with scenarios. So we were creating these scenarios for the best case scenarios, is just a flu during 2 weeks, to the worst case scenario. So, and probably the real one is going to be somewhere in the middle between these two. So we engage in a lot of discussions. When the situation started to be really, really bad, and so all the world was pointing at Italy about like, oh, the situation is out of control and things like that, we deemed that the risk was exceeding the opportunity. So we decided to suspend operations. Also because it was not clear, even with the countermeasure from a safety perspective, were appropriate for the situation. And just want a couple examples. So even in this situation, before we decided to suspend operation, we didn't force anybody to show up at work. So the people that were not feeling comfortable, they were in a state of fear, anxiety, because they didn't want to catch the COVID-19 and things like that, they were allowed to stay home and not show up at work. In a situation, I had actually to say to my housekeeping manager, if you don't find anybody, I'll do it. Okay. Was not necessary at all because people, when we discuss about leading by example. Okay. So my people always showed a great level of commitment. But this was a way to for us to show the fact that we are all together in this. We understand the situation and we're going to deal with it together. So when we deemed that the risk was too high, we decided to suspend operation and wait for the situation to settle a little bit. Right now, very probably we're going to be the first to reopen because in the meanwhile, we have been digging a lot and in advance compared with the government disposition, prescription, and so on about new procedures. We are changing the way we are doing things, but the only thing we are changing is the how we do things. It's not the what, it's not the why. And the reason is simple. So safety is a must, but it's always been in a high-end hotel. Now it's going to be a little bit more visible, but everybody's going to do the same. So safety is going to be crucial for doing business in the hospitality industry because this is exactly what people expect. People want to feel safe. But yesterday, for example, I was watching a video about one hotel that reopened in Milan, and the solution they decided to adopt is you never encounter any other human being. So have your temperature scanner at the door entrance, and then you have an app on your mobile phone which is open in your room, and then you get an email or whatever you want. It's delivered to your room by a robot, so you don't see anybody. This is definitely not the direction we want to go.
I don't want a robot delivering my meal in Milan. That's
not at all.
I might do that at Disney World. Disney World would be great, right? Oh, look, there's this little robot.
But also it depends, you know, if you're traveling for work and all the thing you need is just a room for spending the night and a meal, maybe it's fine. But we are doing something completely different. We consider ourselves well-being and happiness expert and pioneers. And our purpose as a company is providing our guests nowhere else experiences. Now, in this nowhere else, there is a lot which is rooted with our Apulian tradition, which involves a lot of love for the land, love for the food, and the love for the people. So we cannot go that way, and that's the way we don't want to go, because we want people to reconnect with themselves. So what we want to do is not provide an artificial safety, but helping people to go over this and develop resilience. This is a great time to spend time, it's a great moment to spend time reconnecting with your roots. So spending time on open air, enjoying the sunshine, your gardening, spending time with your family, with your friends, enjoying the meal, because the meal, for us as Italians, you know very well, it's a big deal. It's a time for the community to get together. We spend a lot of energy in choosing our raw material, preparing the food, eat it together.
I'm getting really hungry as I'm talking. This is not a problem. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to be there as you speak.
And these are all the things we do a lot of research about, also on you know, scientific-based happiness, the importance of elements like belonging to a community. But these are the things we study in order to choose the things we want to propose our guests. We don't show this kind of thing. We want you to come to our place and feel it, and you know, smell it and taste it and savor it. If we are success, you are feeling good. We don't need any other things. It's not about engaging on a mental level or a logical level, explaining the difference between this product and another one only. It's about having people really reconnected with themselves and feeling good. And there are a lot of ideas we are thinking about that, which I'm not going to disclose right now, because you have to try them out by yourself. But this is all coming by a beautiful effort from the entire team. So the team is really getting together. One of the things we are doing right now to reconnect with our guests is reconnect not on a transactional base. We have been communicating in these months, producing content, spontaneous content. It's not done in like a professional way, having our team members sharing what they're passionate about. So the meal they like to prepare, the things that they really enjoy, having our guests exploring itineraries, manufacturing and craft something, some product, telling story tales for kids and things like that. We created this Casa Egnazia, which means house in Italian, where people can find these contents and we can get in touch. And also the emails or the phone calls we have made to our guests are just about, you know, reconnecting. How do you do, how things are going, just stay in touch. We know that, and the sentiment from our people, you know, mostly of our guests are repeaters. When all the magic we put together is really working, Borgo becomes for people the happy place. And most of people I've been talking to, they really want to come back. You know, I was saying that we celebrated our 10th anniversary a couple of weeks ago. And we did it, of course, online in a gigantic webinar. And we just invited, you know, to talk several people, the first employee, the last one, and things like that.
Great.
Because, you know, we hire people based on attitude, not based on competencies. Because competence can be learned, but attitudes, we want people aligned with the values we believe in because they need to share them. We, as leadership team, we need to lead by example, but they have to lead the experience of people or our guests. And we have just one guest that was just showing up because she has been coming to Borgo for 9 years in a row. She's an American lady, beautiful person. I mean, really, really nice person. And she said, I'm coming back. Even if I have to swim, I'll be back.
Oh my goodness. So
and this is the type of commitment we create with people.
you have created, and so this is a beautiful example of your purpose. So just tell us your purpose one more time.
My purpose is I am a torchbearer, and my spark starts a fire of transformation.
Okay. And my sense is this is a beautiful example of where you really have lived your purpose. And that one of the beautiful things about, there's so many very terrible things about the coronavirus experience for many people. And I don't want to take away from that, but one of the gifts is that it really means that purpose has even more of an opportunity to show up because everything else isn't purpose. And when you show purpose, purpose really does, you can taste it, you can feel it. And my sense is that what you and your colleagues have created at Borgo is a beautiful example of what happens when you lead from purpose. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And if anybody's listening, I'm sure we're all so hungry right this minute. So yes, I'm definitely, I gotta go eat something now. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you very much, Nick. It's been a great pleasure.